and welcome to the Global Business Group, where we aim to unlock the potential of international business, providing unique local business solutions internationally. We specialize in business advisory, import and export opportunities, market entry, investments, and funding to help you achieve your business goals. Now, let's get into today's Business Day.
Hello everyone, hello GBG. Today we will discuss about the FuelOx products, and I would like to welcome President of FuelOx, Mr. Rand Taylor, who will be the main speaker for today's presentation, and also Mr. Reece, CEO of FuelOx Pacific, which is my directly partner with growing distribution network in Asia Pacific and Europe. So let me share the presentation, and Rand, Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Lukasz. Thanks for inviting me, everyone. Appreciate your time. I am in New Jersey, United States, about 60 miles west of New York City. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning here, or a little bit after now. And I'm happy to be here and explain to you what we do. We are a very focused company on a couple of things. And notably, we're all about sustainability. And that's a big term, but we're focused in fuel usage, fuel efficiency, and heavy equipment, and any kind of machinery that we can get to be more sustainable in both its usage and its performance and extending the life of all the components. So it's kind of a wide range, but it's really not. So we really concentrate on two groups of products. Number one, we have fuel additives, and number two, we have our lubricants. Our fuel additives are designed to give you better fuel efficiency and reduce emissions. And the other thing is that you can put it back to the one right before that if you want, Lukasz. I'll come right. Okay. I'm just going to give a quick overview. And our fuel and our lubricants are all 100% plant-based. So they're very unique, but they're also unique in that they outperform everything on the market, not by 5 or 10%, by literally hundreds of percent. This is our lubricants are revolutionary. Our fuel additive is head and shoulders above everything else out there, but the additives, the lubricants are truly revolutionary. So what really got us going are, if you look at these trends, and I think all of us know these things, inherently, that most people understand that there's an issue here with some sort of global climate change, warming, whatever you want to call it, and that we need to do something about it. But I think it actually goes beyond that. That people recognize we need to be smarter about just in general how we use our energy, and also how we maintain all our equipment. And we want things to last longer. We want things to be more efficient. And I think as the world gets progresses forward, these things are gonna continue to be more important than ever. And in fact, if you look at the ESG part of this, the environmental sustainability and safety and governance, rather, you'll see that companies, big corporations in particular, are adopting these things left and right. So right now it says this statistic is probably about a year old, but 90% of the companies in the Standards & Poor's 500 have sustainability reports, and then more than 10,000 companies worldwide have detailed climate impact information. I think that number is probably much, much higher now, because it seems like that almost every company you look at has something similar to this. So, and as far as our opportunities go, it's a $9.5 billion industry for fuel additives and $124 billion for lubricants, and all of them, of course, are going to grow. we actually think that even though the lubricant business is much bigger, what we offer in as far as fuel goes, fuel efficiency, increasing fuel efficiency, and those kind of additives, we stand out. We stand out from everybody else in the fuel additive industry, because we're really the only guys, or one of the very few companies out there that's offering something that truly improves efficiency and reduces emissions at the same time. So those, again, now these are our main products. We do have a few ancillary offshoots of each of them that are tweaked for particular instances. For instance, our FuelOx fuel additive, which is right there front and center, third from the left, is a product that we also have a winter blend that has anti-gels. For those of you that are not familiar with fuel, when diesel fuel gets into very cold climates, it'll tend to actually, believe it or not, it'll gel up and freeze up. So you have to have chemicals in there that'll keep that from happening. And so we offer those as well. But really, those are our four main products right there: our fuel additive, and then we have our spray on the left, our grease in the middle, and then our liquid friction eliminator in the white bottle to the far right. Now, a brief thing: the liquid friction eliminator is the main product of our lubricants. So and then that is actually blended into the grease and also into the spray. And I'll touch on all those more detail in a minute here. So the way we started was about the product itself, the FuelOx lubricant, the FuelOx fuel additive itself started about 30 years ago, and it actually came and was designed out of AT&T Bell Labs, and for very, very high intensity situations where fuel was being stored for long periods of time in very harsh climates. And it was designed to actually stabilize the fuel and keep it fresh for long periods of time, which is very hard to do, because fuel tends to degrade very quickly once it leaves the refinery. And what we do is we keep it from doing that. And that was the original reason for the design of FuelOx with combustion catalyst. Okay, and the other thing too is it was also designed with the military in mind, the United States military, which has about 7 different blends of fuel. So this product actually will treat any middle distillate fuel. That makes us very different than everybody else. Middle distillate fuels are your typical gasolines, petrols, diesels, kerosenes, heavy fuel oil even. It'll treat, well, this one product will treat all of those things, because the United States military really required it 30 years ago when it was first designed. And then what it does is it also is very highly concentrated. Most fuel additives in the industry are 1 to 1,000. They'll treat 1 gallon of our product will treat 1,000 gallons of fuel. In our case, 1 gallon of our product, FuelOx with combustion catalyst, will treat 10,000 gallons. So it's a lot easier to work with, being much more concentrated, and it's able to do that because of its unique and proprietary makeup and ingredients. It's really made for fuel efficiency. We are in the past few years, we started the company about 10 years ago. My son and I started the company literally on our tabletop counter, because a good friend of mine, this is his family's business, they've been making this product and they wanted to expand it to the rest of the world, and they brought us on to do that. So we started the company and branded it FuelOx almost 10 years ago, right here in New Jersey, and now we actually export to almost every one of these areas you're looking at here, with the exception of the area in the top right hand corner, which we had begun with the work to do, and obviously that was put on hold a few months ago. So, but we expect to actually be working with Russia sometime in the future, hopefully when the world becomes a more sane place. And in the meantime, though, we do export to all these other locations. In fact, I just came back from Africa. I was in Ghana for a month. I guess I just got back on Sunday, and I have another Zoom call with a group of mining companies, and later on this morning. So anyway, this is where we are now. We are exporting to all these locations. Okay, so the fuel additive with combustion catalyst. This is what this is our bread and butter. This is our baby. This is how we started the company. This product right here, these bottles right here are made for measuring. That's what the little on the upper left hand part of the bottle is. It's a measuring contraption that allows you to treat certain amounts of fuel. So that's what that is. It's not a two-step process. It's not a mixing or anything like that. It's just an easy way to administer the additive. Okay, what it does is it gets your fuel to combust more thoroughly. It has an organometallic compound, microscopic metals that when mixed with the fuel, it breaks. What it does is it breaks up the clumping that takes place in the fuel. All fuel, as soon as it starts to come out of the refinery, will start to what they call agglomerate, or actually connect. The molecules will start to attract each other and create long strands, which will turn into clumps, and large clumps, and eventually it will solidify completely. So what we do is we keep that from happening. And therefore what happens is when the fuel comes through the injectors into the combustion chamber, it's able to mix much more readily with the air and burn much more thoroughly. So what we do is we get the fuel to combust more thoroughly. So therefore you burn more of it. So you get a more thorough burn, which means more power, better fuel efficiency. And because you're burning more of the fuel, of course, that's why you're getting more fuel efficiency, but you're also getting reducing your emissions on the other end. Okay, so it's really this is our magic sauce. Now, what do we do with everything else? We also will do everything that you would expect a good fuel additive to do, in that we give better fuel efficiency. We clean up your injectors. We get the carbon buildup out of there. We lubricate your upper cylinder heads so they last longer. Everything lasts longer inside the components of the engine by using this. We also will kill bacteria in your fuel. That tends to be a big problem in diesel, because fuel will actually have bacteria and mold that will grow in it if you let it sit. So these are problems that we take care of. Bottom line is we do everything a great fuel additive you would expect to do, but we have the added bonus of having a combustion catalyst, which is really what gets you that extra 4 to 6% better fuel efficiency on top of cleaning everything out and making everything last longer. So we've done a lot of testing in a lot of different environments. If you look at these here, we have trucking, we have busing, sand and gravel, landscaping, shipping. If you want to look and see, what we've done, we have literally hundreds of these. And we also, in addition to this, have a very active YouTube account that has about 200 testimonials in there that we're adding to all the time. So testimonials, as well as demonstrations and educational things that educate people about our products. And if all you have to do is go to YouTube and put in FuelOx, one word, FuelOx, and you can get those as well. Okay, but there's lots of this. So the other cool thing about this is that, as I mentioned very quickly, is the flip side of burning more fuel and getting better fuel efficiency is the reduction of the emissions. And we've also done a great amount of testing with this with companies such as Intertech, as well as a lot of our clients have commissioned third-party testing companies to come in and test their products as well. So not only do we reduce the soot, which is really unburnt fuel, the black stuff you see coming out, but we also reduce the greenhouse emissions of NOx, CO2, H2S, and so forth. So that's a nutshell of our fuel additive and how our fuel additive works. Again, what you're seeing right now is that with fuel being so expensive, our cost is about 1%. So if we can save someone 6, 7, 8%, mostly heavy equipment, we're usually around the 10% level. Trucking, that where they drive very fast speeds on good roads, That's probably the most efficient engine out there. We'll get them generally between 4 and 6%. So at a cost of 1%, you can do the math. You know, if you're paying, you know, $5 a gallon, or if you're paying, say, $1, I know where I just came from in Ghana, they're paying $1.80 a liter. You know, so if I can save you 5% on that, you can do the math, and you can say that you can see what you can save. And a lot of companies that use a lot of fuel will see right away that the savings can be massive. And then if you happen to live in a country where you have emissions systems already set up with diesel particulate filters and so forth on all your equipment, the maintenance savings will grow exponentially on that. Now, Infinity Lubes. This is our new group of products that we've had out for about a year. These products here are 100% plant-based. Let me clarify that. The grease is a lithium complex biodegradable grease. Okay, so it's not 100% plant-based, but it is biodegradable. But the liquid friction eliminator is as I said, that's the magic sauce that goes into crankcases, gearboxes, hydraulic systems. And what it does, and by the way, we take that, we blend it in the grease, and we also blend it into a soy-based spray. Okay, so all of them contain the HDI 2500, which is the main product, 100% plant-based. And what it's designed to do is actually we do not care about the normal things that a lubricant would care about, which is primarily film strength and coatings that will cover the metal and keep the metal from wearing. Okay, so we don't really care about those things because we're really not a lubricant in the conventional sense of the word. We're really more of a metal treatment. So what we do is we utilize the natural friction that takes place to actually treat the metal and make the metal harder. And what we do is we get it to actually take the heat and the friction to take the carbon and nitrogen out of the plant proteins and infuse them into the metal, making the metal super hard. And also it'll smooth the metal out, as you can see from the pictures right here. Okay, but what you're looking at on the right-hand side there after the Infinity Lube is actually a smoothed out and a hardened metal surface that actually goes down about 15 microns of thickness to keep the metal from wearing and also keep it from corroding. So anybody using our product is basically going to be case hardening the metal in place, or carbonitriding, as it's referred to. That's really that's the official term, but it's really case hardening is what we do. Okay, and we do this by using this triboelectric effect mentioned below. Okay, normally when you're case hardening any kind of metal, there's a heating and a quenching and a heating and a quenching that goes on. Every time you do that, you make the steel harder, and we do that every time you use your engine. So it's there's nothing else like that I've seen like this. And the product itself was actually invented in 1998 and has been under severe R&D since that time. And we have some tremendous case studies, long-term case studies. One of them at a company called McGinnis Barge, which actually they have not lost a bearing since 2005 when they started using the product. So the results are really off the charts. You go to the next one here. So what I did was, before I brought on this product as Infinity Lubes, my partner Howie Dameron, who invented the product, before I brought him on, I took a tube of grease and I sent it to Falex Labs in Chicago, and one of the most well-known and respected third-party laboratories in the States here. And I asked him to do an ASTM D4170 test, which is a fretting test. It actually measures the wear of the metal over a 22-hour period. And the Kluber grease in the middle there is about $120 a tube. The Valvoline gray moly on the right is also a very well-known and well-respected product, and not a cheap product either. Both of those numbers of 15.2 and 12.6 milligrams of wear are actually not bad. Those are not bad numbers. However, in comparison to ours, as you can see at 1.6 milligrams of wear, we're literally 700% or better, better than the other products. And in fact, Phalanx Labs actually called me before they even gave me the results, and they asked me where I got this, because this is the lowest score they'd ever recorded. Okay, so this is the basis of all the Infinity Lubes products, is that we protect the metal far beyond everything else, which is super important these days, because it means your equipment lasts longer, your parts last longer, and in this environment we're in now, where the supply chains are so badly damaged, it's very difficult to get parts. And in fact, I had a friend of mine at Caterpillar tell me about a month ago that if you wanted a new engine from Caterpillar for any kind of piece of large equipment, the wait for that engine is now over a year. So and to wait for 6 months for a part now is not unheard of. Whereas they used to be just on the shelves before. So it's really paramount that you protect your equipment and your machinery, because you don't know whether you'll be able to get it fixed again, or when you can get it fixed. Our targeted industries are literally anybody that has equipment, okay? Whether it's trucks or mining equipment or buses, you miss the garbage truck that drives down the street every day. Municipalities have all kinds of equipment out there fixing the roads and so forth. Shipping, you name it. If there's stuff moving out there, or even factories, we're actually in Amazon right now because they are blown away by the spray, because the spray will do everything that the other ones do, but the spray you can actually use anywhere you can't get a grease gun, and whether it's a hinge or a bearing or anywhere. The truth of the matter is that we'll get that. I'll touch on the spray real quickly right now. The spray is our most versatile product by far in this area, and it's really starting to pick up, and people are starting to recognize the importance of it, because it's a spray that'll not only lubricate, but it'll keep it for the wear from taking place. And it also is a fantastic cutting fluid too. So if you have people drilling through metal with bits, if you spray them with the spray, it's going to harden that bit and make the bit last 7-8 times longer. That's just a couple examples of how that's working. The last thing I'll tell you about the spray is Ford Motor Company had an issue about a year ago with a bearing on one of their conveyor belt systems that they couldn't. It failed, and they couldn't replace it for 6 months. So we drilled holes in the bearing and sprayed it with the spray, got it loose, got everything loosened up, and put it back on. That was over a year ago, and it's still running today with one single application of the spray. And it's been running consistently since then, 24/7, 365. They will not replace that bearing, even though the new bearing has come in and is sitting right next to it. They will not replace that bearing until it fails. And I have the engineer calling me on a almost weekly basis, telling me it's still running, which is it's a miracle. It really is. So what are we looking for? We're looking for corporate clients. We're looking for companies that'll use our products. We're looking for distributors. More importantly, we're looking for distributors. We're looking for people that can help us move product. And really what we're offering is something far superior to everything else out there. So, and it's time, and as you can see, it's very timely, because it addresses the sustainability issues everywhere. And I guess that's it. Lukasz, did you want to add anything to that?
No. I think it was a great. Thank you very much, Rand, for all this explanation. And I hope there will be some questions from our audience. So I think this is right time, but maybe Manuela, if you can use the breakout room right now, and yeah, maybe.
Absolutely. I have just one question that could be at least interesting for all the audience, and the concept is this: considering the concentration of the product and also the benefit to treat bacteria, as you said, could it be also a possible product used for big brands of petrol stations in order to maintain their gasoline and petrols inside their tanks, in particular in conditions of particularly hot or particular environment and weather environment?
Actually, yeah, you're 100% correct, and you are actually drawing light to an industry that we are starting to do a lot of work in recently, in that you have petrol stations that not only do they want to protect their fuel, but they want to offer a premium product that's being seen as environmentally friendly. So what they're seeing is an opportunity to advertise. They're giving you a product that gets you better fuel efficiency and reduces your emissions, for really, a relatively very small price, and then at the same token, it makes them look great, like they're out there in the forefront of the whole environmental movement, and at the same token, they're giving their customers a fantastic product. Yeah, and protecting their fuel at the same time.
Thank you.
And also we can add that we have as examples of distribution companies, the fuel distribution companies, especially in the US, and they use for whole fuel they distribute.
Yes.
Correct.
It is something that I was thinking of in particular because in our areas, the European areas in Italy, I have the example, many petrol stations are now converted into electrics. And for the most part, the big brands are trying to offer the best products compared to the other one. Mine is better than, and so this could be extremely interesting also in their particular case.
You're 100% correct. Absolutely.
So is any other question that could be that could come for the whole audience? On the contrary, for the next 5-10 minutes, I will send everybody in the bracket rooms, or do you prefer to stay all together, Jacek?
Rand, maybe a couple of technical questions. To FuelOx, it consists of two elements, yes, which you should combine together before putting into the tank, as far as I understand.
No, the FuelOx, there's no combination of anything else. It comes fully ready to be used.
So how long does it remain active in a tank, in a car, approximately?
It will remain active as long as the fuel's there. The biggest problem with fuel is that if it sits for a long time, it will degrade. The good thing about FuelOx is when you put it in, it'll maintain the fuel for up to 2 years. Actually, it'll maintain a minimum of 2 years. It will maintain your fuel far beyond that. But we tell our, particularly generator companies that have a lot of fuel sitting around for emergencies, they'll treat their product with they'll treat their fuel with our product, because and they do it every 2 years, and it'll indefinitely keep it fresh. I will say the one caveat to that is ethanol, gasoline. So gasoline with ethanol in it is particularly problematic. And I don't know if you have that in the areas that you all are in, but here in the United States, all the gasoline they sell is usually 10% ethanol. And ethanol can be very problematic because it attracts water. And when the water gets into the fuel and it combines with the ethanol, it'll separate and cause what they call phase separation. It's a big problem here, particularly in the marine industry that uses gasoline. But anywhere that uses when gasoline sits, gasoline goes bad a lot quicker than diesel fuel does. Okay, so the answer is we help protect them both dramatically, but diesel is really, like I said, power, backup generators and so forth. we can keep that fuel fresh indefinitely.
So what's the problem selling the FuelOx directly to petroleum companies like Texaco, like British Petroleum, to add as a standard to their gasoline?
There's no problem at all. The only thing to keep in mind is that every industry is different, and that particular industry is very cheap. Okay, when they treat their fuel in bulk numbers, they're looking for very, very cheap answers. Okay, we are not a super cheap answer. We are not an expensive answer. And with the price of fuel doubling in the last year, our value offer has improved dramatically because we have not increased our prices. So for instance, we treat fuel on bulk situations like that, anywhere, depending on where you are in the world, anywhere from 2.5 to 4 cents per gallon, about a penny a liter. Okay, you're looking at about a penny a liter to give someone bulk treatment for a gas station or a fuel distributor. So if they're charging $1 a liter and they need to add on a penny more, to them, some of these guys, that's a lot. Okay, and they may push back on that. But what we're seeing is that with the increase in fuel prices, they're much more open than they've ever been, particularly that combined with the whole eco-friendly aspect of the sustainability movement that's taking place worldwide.
Maybe one more question regarding the maintenance costs about the FuelOx. Yes, do you have any idea, any examples? How can the user reduce the maintenance costs in terms of their total fleet in machinery or automotive, whatever? Do you have any examples?
Yeah, phenomenal question. We have our long-term customers that we've had for two or more years, almost to a person, will tell you that, yeah, we know we're saving money in fuel, but what we really love about FuelOx is that I'm not seeing my machinery coming in between PMs. Okay, the planned maintenance, every machinery piece of machinery has a planned maintenance schedule that it comes in at certain times for certain types of maintenance. What throws off large companies that have large fleets is when things come in between. Something goes wrong in between, and they've got to service a piece of machinery before the PM time. Okay, and that's always a big problem for them. But what my customers tell me is that what we love about FuelOx is we're not seeing anything in between, hardly anything coming in between, in between PMs, particularly anything having to do with fuel or just the way the engines run. Obviously accidents and so forth happen, but what they're saying, that's their biggest savings. So everything lasts longer. Everything that the maintenance and cycles are maintained, and all your maintenance costs are reduced by using our product far beyond just the fuel savings.
Can you give us any idea of what is the percentage savings on maintenance cost by year?
I don't, no one's ever given me an actual number. Other than that, this is what they love, and a lot of the guys who run the maintenance departments, they won't be able to give you numbers. All they know is that if it's less headaches for them, they like it, and that's really what it comes down to. The fuel, now the lubricants, we do have people that have told us that, yeah, we used to spend this amount on bearings and replacement parts and so forth, and now we're spending this amount. So one company in particular says just on bearings alone, since 2005, they've saved over $10 million. And trust me, they've spent a heck of a lot less than that on their lubricants.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Mawini asked to speak. I think it is too late to separate in bracket rules. We go on like this.
Okay. Do you already have a distributor in Thailand?
We're working with Lukasz and Rick in next door in Laos.
Sure. So not yet any
Okay.
official distributor.
Can
in
I
Thailand.
also send representation, right? Is this to
Yes,
I have a
of course.
friend who is in this kind of business. Okay, I
Yeah,
can
of
talk to
course, I
Lukasz
will-
later.
Yep, of course, I will provide to you.
Other two people asked to talk. Who's the next? Please.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes, Ran, I just want to ask, who is your representative in Ghana since you just left Ghana?
I have a gentleman there by the name of Abraham Collins.
Okay.
And we actually have a house in the Spintex Road area.
Okay.
Okay, so I can put you in touch with him, you know,
Yeah,
and
please do.
he can do well. I'll give Lukasz all the information for Abraham, and you can get a hold of him. He's I know he's headed out to Tarkwa today or tomorrow, and because he has a number of tests he has to run for some companies out there. I know he's out there with, I think he's first with Adamus, and then he's also he's got some testing to do with Goldfields and with, oh gosh, I forget who else now, but he's in Shirano. So
Okay.
but he's yeah, he's the guy. I'll put you in touch with him, Bridge.
Okay, that'll be nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think there was a second person, if I'm right. Maybe not. What I wanted to ask is if maybe our CEO of FuelOx Pacific, Mr. Reece, could add just a couple of words in order to tell us a little bit more about everything we have understood till now.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, my name is Rick Reece. I'm in Laos. I'm in partnership here with Lukasz, and a childhood friend of Rand since early days in our lives. We have been friends. I found myself in Laos about 23 years ago, and I've been here since that time. So this is my home, and for most of my time here, I have run an organization called Village Focus International. So I'm the founder and director of a nonprofit. And then a few years ago, in conversation with Rand, and then later in discussions with Lukasz, decided to create this organization that we call FuelOx Pacific, which is essentially looking for opportunities for distributorship for the FuelOx and Infinity Lube products in Asia and other parts of the world. So, you know, it's always good to listen to Rand speak. So every time I listen to him speak, I learn a few things. So it's always very, very interesting. I see also at least one familiar face, Tunçay from Turkey. We've met before as well. And we're also doing some work with Tunçay right now in Turkey.
Thank you. I have received the samples and about to start the
testing
with
process.
some clients.
Right.
Yeah.
So
thank
we're
so much.
very,
Need to translate it
into Turkish, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we're very excited about all of these opportunities because in some ways, COVID kind of put us back a couple of years. We started to get active in collaboration with Rand in the US just before COVID. And we were on the edge of what looked like some quite big business opportunities with one of the big mines here and with the Lao State Fuel Company, who went through a whole process of laboratory testing and field testing, and we're very excited about going together in partnership with us. COVID kind of undid a lot of that. And then more recently, the fuel crisis there, the Lao government right now is having a hard time buying fuel to bring into the country. So there's some things. So subsequently, or actually concurrently, we have been looking outside of Laos anyway. So while we base ourselves physically in Laos, we're registered in Singapore, FuelOx Pacific, and we work on a very, very daily, weekly basis with Rand on all things, all opportunities we can find. So we appreciate this opportunity to spread the news to all of you, and we hope that we can continue some collaboration. If you have ideas for connections, we obviously are very interested in following those up. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, and there will certainly be a continuation we could have. Saying that, I'm asking Lukasz if there is anything else that we need to ask, because we have reached the hour and we have to conclude with our meeting today. So if you want to conclude with 1 or 2 words, and then I will close our meeting of today.
I just would like to thank you, Rand and Rick, to participate in this meeting, all to listen and ask the questions. Definitely, we have a product can really change your businesses or your clients' businesses, and we really want to help them to save their money. So I believe we can do it together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I am very proud. I was very proud to introduce all of you today and to manage this meeting. So I conclude this day, and I wish you a happy continuation of the day and of the week.
Thanks for joining in. We'll see you at the same time next week. In the meantime, be sure to check out our website, www.globalbusiness.group. The Global Business Group, making international business easy.